Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week we did a little something different and pretty exciting. We attended the RTR here in Quartzsite, Arizona. So the RTR is hosted by Bob Wells and the Home on Wheels Alliance, and they put together classes that help people who are living on the road and are living the nomadic life. And so we learned a lot over the last week, even though I've been on the road for 4 years. It's like you can never stop learning, there's always some new source of information out there. So I think some of my favorite parts about the RTR was that they had a board up that was, if you needed anything, then you can ask for it. And then also if there was anything you could provide, then you could put that on the board as well. And then also they had a free pile for, people who are in need, but other people might not want the things that others need. And they also gave away blankets and socks and stuff. So I think that was a pretty cool part of it, was that it's like nomads helping nomads, kind of.
It was also a really good way to meet people our age, because out here the attendees were mostly 55 plus retirees, people on pensions or social security. So meeting people our age out here was kind of a task. However, that bulletin board had just names all over it. There were at least 3 or 4 that we could have picked from, and we actually met some pretty cool people and probably some long-term friends, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And they also have a Facebook group too, if you guys want to check that out. And a lot of people are posting on there as well, looking for communities. But it's definitely a community building event and a good way to, meet like-minded people and maybe learn something.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing that you learned this week?
I would honestly say keeping eggs unrefrigerated. That is a total game changer. We don't have to eat oats every morning anymore. It's nice to be able to have options now, and I mean, you'd never think about it. Most people would tell you no, but then there's these people who have been doing it for years and nothing's come their way, and hell, maybe we're all wrong. Who knows?
Yeah.
But regardless, we're eating eggs.
Some people said that they would leave their eggs unrefrigerated for a month and still eat it and they'd be fine. So, but that was something we researched a lot and we couldn't find a definite answer. But as soon as I saw somebody without eggs in the refrigerator, I was like, I need to know everything. Tell me everything about your eggs right now.
That's going to change our mornings.
They did a whole van tour thing. So probably about, I want to say 30 vans were out there with all of their doors open. You could ask them questions about anything. I did record a couple of those, so I'm going to add them into this video. But that was a really good way to physically see inside someone's rig, and then they're right there to ask questions instead of YouTube videos where, not everyone answers the questions and it's a vague, here's my van tour thing. But that was really informative because I learned a lot about just a whole lot of things.
A lot about being minimalist too. You don't need giant solar panels. You don't need all this fancy stuff like a cassette toilet. You don't need that stuff. You can go more basic than that and still manage just fine, provided you can relinquish some of your wants and needs for those fancy stuff like a flush toilet or a full gray water system or anything like that. I mean, they even make a pump that runs off of USB that you can pump straight from your water tank into a sink or a bowl or whatever else you want to use. And that's just, I mean, that alone is so much easier than going through all the trouble of putting in a basic water pump with a gray water tank. And there's just little workarounds there that'll give you the ease of living in a home without having to spend thousands of dollars on home-like appliances and stuff.
Yeah, and people out here you could be anywhere from a Sprinter with 8 solar panels to living in your car. We saw one girl living in her car with her kid.
Yeah.
So it's 2 different extremes, but everything in the middle is you learn a lot from those people and you can really see how much you can really live without. Even now, I'm the van's too cluttered. We need to get rid of all of this stuff, but also we use almost everything in here.
Yeah.
So it's we can't really get rid of much.
Not much we could get rid of.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I do want to say something about Quartzsite too, because this was just a week-long event. But Quartzsite is a small town during the summer. There's probably, it was 1,800 people live here or something. That's what the population sign said. Well,
No, it was 800 people.
okay.
Yeah.
800 people.
800
That's insane.
people.
So right now, there's probably between 1 and 2 million rigs out here. Like, that's not an exaggeration. Well, I'm going to include some videos of us, like, driving by and, like, looking at all of the rigs and stuff. And outside, I can see at least 200 rigs right now from where we're staying. So it's insane, and it's everything from $1 million campers to, you know, people living in their car again. And so it's really easy to make like a community out here. Like, we met friends just, you know, people would walk up to the van and be like, hey, like, you know, do you want to smoke with us? And here's some quartz. And somebody gave him some a bracelet, and they gave me some amethyst. And are you showing the bracelet?
This is the bracelet. It's just nice wooden beads.
And then somebody came up yesterday, and they were like, hey, like, we're trying to get money for gas. Like, here's our art. Would you like to buy something? It's whatever you can pay. And so I got a cute little ring for just $5, and it was worth well more than that, you know, but it's all I could give. So you meet just a lot of different people. And then they also have a ton of art stands. So we talked to one place, it's $10 a day to set up and sell your art, and like maybe like $250 for the whole month. And that includes a place for you to park and stay. Yep. And there's over 300 vendors out there. And that's really cool. I've never been anywhere like this. Like, there's no houses here. They either live in trailers or in their rigs.
RVs or trailers.
Yeah. Yep. So that's really cool. And I don't know, you just meet some really interesting people out here.
Mm-hmm. I even hitchhiked, which I wouldn't recommend. Probably not the safest thing in the world, but the community out here is just, they're so open to just being free that I was just walking down the road and somebody stopped and said, hey, do you want to ride? And I was like, yeah, sure. I hopped in the car. He was already taking somebody else down to the city, got all the way there, and then got a hitchhike ride back to the campsite. And it was so effortless. And I met new people. I have new friends now, all from just going for a walk, you know? And that's the kind of community that's here. It's kind of it's kind of mind-blowing. I've never really experienced anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. You can just walk by anyone's rig and they'll start talking to you. And they'll talk to you about literally anything and everything. Like, we know everyone's life story. Yeah. And we'll probably never see them again. But You know what? It was like a lot of fun, like getting to know them and stuff, and like talking about like our rigs and like living on the road. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then also here they have, basically, this is a small town. They don't even have a Walmart or anything. They have 2 very small grocery stores that don't really have a whole lot of anything, and whenever they do, they're very expensive. Yes. But the whole place is just surrounded by BLM. So if you don't know what that is, it's free land that you can camp on for 14 days. And there's at least 5 or 6 like places like that here, and you can just move every 14 days around. But they also have extended BLM, which I had never seen before. But basically you pay either $40 for 2 weeks, or you can get a 6-month. Everyone here lives here only during the winter, because the summers are, you know, 115 degrees. But during the winter, it's like 70 degrees, and I can walk around in a tank top. Like, it's like perfect weather. During the winter, you can stay here at the BLM. I think it's $200 for 6 months. That's your rent. They have showers and bathrooms, dumpsters. You can go dump your gray tank. You can basically just like live off of the land and have the amenities of living in a house too. And even out there, they have communities with, you know, like 12 campers staying all in one place.
Yeah.
So
there's really a community for everybody too. I mean, if you're into some obscure stuff, I guarantee there's a community that would welcome you with open arms. There's a nudist colony, for example. If you that's your thing, then there's a place for that too. And you know, you just ask around and somebody will tell you.
Yeah, they all kind of know.
They all want to talk about it. Like, they all want to talk. Everybody here is just so friendly, and they are eager to know you instead of just eager to judge you, like I feel most people are. which is, it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's an interesting sense
I think
of
most
community.
people do judge us for like living in a van, and our van isn't like the most aesthetically pleasing van.
Yeah.
But here it's like they don't care what you live in. You know, we're all out here doing the same exact thing, whether we're making $1 million a year or $1,000 a year. You know, like we're all out here doing the same thing.
Yep. With the same purpose in mind.
Yeah, we're all just trying to connect with nature and, you know, live like a free life.
Mm-hmm. Just keep traveling.
Anything else you want to add?
No. Just come to Quartzsite.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, come to Quartzsite.
Come check it out. We're actually thinking about staying. Well, I have some art shows planned, but I think that we might come back and stay here for a minute.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's worth the journey. Whether you're coming from the East Coast or the West Coast, it's worth the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, I guess that's it for our talking portion. So if you guys enjoy the rest of the video, thanks for being here.
We are at war with the earth. We are doing all that we can to kill that earth. If the deer wants to come in and eat that, then now the deer is competing with us. We have to kill that deer. If a wolf wants to kill our sheep or our cattle, we have to kill that wolf. We have to kill that coyote. We have to. We are at war with them. We are fighting against the earth in every way we can. If an eagle, the bald eagle's killed, we got to wipe out all the bald eagles. We went to war, and that was the exact opposite of what we need to be doing to fit into our environment of evolutionary database. And here it is. This is a college textbook. This is what you and I are basing our new lives on. There's two ways to get ahead. There's two ways to be rich, either by producing much or desiring little. He calls it the Zen Road to Affluence. And I believe that's exactly what it is. This is the Zen Road to Affluence, of desiring little. If you don't desire little, it's not hard to satisfy. Some of you are still young and you have to go to work. And my idea on the homepage of in 2005, when I posted the homepage of cheaprvliving.com, it says, work 6 months out of the year, take 6 months off. So by living so cheaply, you don't have to work the whole year. You can have 6 months off, or work 3 months and take 3 months off, and work 3 months, and work hard for a year and take 3 years off. At any rate, you see the point. It's by desiring little, needing little, you can work less, and that's the way you can be affluent. So here it is, right here. Nature was the only thing in your life, and now it's nothing in our life. And no organism can adapt to that in 10,000 years. Our society, American society in particular, is incredibly miserable. It's because we're at war and fighting with nature, with each other, and we're loving things. And so all those things, and you're doing that. I mean, just by being here, you're finding yourself every morning, you wake up, you set up camp, you go outside, you're in nature. Go outside and sit. One of the best things you can do is just to go outside and be connected to nature. Be quiet, just be with it. One of the most life-changing things you can do is go out some night and just stare at the stars. Just contemplate. You don't have to meditate or just sit out there and look at the stars. Wake up some morning, go outside with your coffee or your tea or Diet Pepsi, and just sit out there and look at the beauty and the grandeur of the world that you live in. Allow it to change you, and it will. It will. It will heal you. And all these things, that's how we will heal the virus.
Means that your panel, that 1 square meter surface area, is only going to be at 201 pounds. The higher the rating of that panel, the higher the efficiency of the panel, the smaller it's going to be for that particular size. So a thin film panel typically has the lowest.
You're about to be in the video?
You look good.
can't believe they got a job.
Take it, baby.